Hey everyone, welcome to the next step in creating kinetic typography. Today we're learning how to do this scene, which includes a lot of different rotation animations, including some 3D rotations. So what I'm going to do again is duplicate my scene to Command D, open that up, and then delete all these layers. Press LL on my audio so I can see the waveforms and drag this to the left until I have my full sound for this little scene. And so here I am lucky I have the whole sound here. I'm just going to drag in this work area on the right side, go to composition, trim comp to work area. So this audio says I'm the founder of videoschoolonline.com, so I'm going to add all of that text. So I'm going to have to make this smaller, so what I'll do is just start by making it smaller and then just add all our text. You know the drill. I'm the founder of video. You can see that I'm actually separating the words in videoschoolonline.com so that they come up individually. Okay, so let me just place these first. So that's kind of what we've been doing. We create the text and we place them. So videoschoolonline.com. So this will be a little staggered. .com will be a lot smaller. And so something like this, let's just move this down, stagger it a little bit more, something just to give it a little bit of more interest to it, and then just kind of center it onto our screen. Then I'm the founder of, I think before I said I am, but I'll just do I'm the founder. I guess I do say I'm. Okay, now just select all these and move them in the middle. I think I want these to be smaller too, actually. So I'll just move these, make sure that they're aligned properly. Again, just playing with the spacing between the text. Try to center these a bit, and then move this Video School Online text up a bit. Okay, so now we have all this stuff laid out. What we're going to then do is add our animation, and we're doing rotation animations. So first I'm going to animate the I'm the founder of. So first let's do I'm going to solo this layer so you can see what I'm working with. This is the solo button right here, this little dot. If you click that, it hides all of the other layers. It doesn't get rid of them, it just hides them. Okay, so I'm going to then turn on this 3D layer, and I'm actually going to turn on 3D for all these layers. It's this column right here with the cube. With the I'm text, I'm going to press R to bring up rotation, and I'm going to actually then take my pan behind tool and make sure that my anchor point is in the middle. I'm just going to zoom in here too so you can kind of see what I'm working with better. Then I'm going to take my Y rotation, and you can see as I start to rotate it, you can see what can happen. And like always, we're just going to add some keyframes and animate it. So at about 10 frames, I'm going to hit a keyframe for the Y rotation at 0. I'm going to go back in time and rotate it to the left, positive like 80 degrees or so. Then what I'm going to do is select these, F9 on my keyboard to add easy ease, go to my graph editor, I'm on my speed editor, and just drag in these end points right here like we've done before to add a little bit more oomph, a little more pop. And then what I'm going to do is add motion blur to all these layers, and motion blur is enabled. And what I want to do is actually go back to my graph editor. I don't want it to slow into the animation. I want it to go fast at the start and then just really slow down. And maybe make it a little slower, so I'm just going to go back, turn off my graph editor, and extend the second keyframe to about 15 frames. So that looks pretty cool. Now I'm going to unsolo this layer. I'm going to zoom out a bit. And to zoom out and move around, what I'm doing right now is pressing spacebar and dragging the composition with this hand tool. It's the hand tool right here, but just pressing the spacebar allows you to use it too, without actually moving anything in your composition. You're just moving the actual composition itself. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select these two keyframes for the Y rotation of I'm going to copy it, Command C. I'm going to go to the start of my composition and I'm going to go paste it onto the founder of. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that because what happens now is it's rotating from the bottom and not from the center. But that actually kind of looks cool. I might do that. So with my I'm going to select this and I'm going to move my pan behind tool to the bottom left. So that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to select all these, press R to bring up rotation, or just U to bring up the keyframe for that Y rotation. And then I'm just going to play with the starting rotation for some of these. So see how founder's still on the screen quite a bit? What I'm going to do is rotate it just a bit more. With the looks good. With I'm going to rotate it just a bit less. And with the of, I'm going to rotate it just a bit more as well. These things happen so quick that it doesn't have to be perfect. And you can see now if I zoom out of my timeline, I guess I am zoomed out the whole way, and I place these, so I'm the founder of, those are these waveforms right here. So you see that, that's pretty cool. The only thing that's kind of weird is this founder. So I'm going to take founder and rotate it a little bit less, actually. So that's pretty cool. Now we have a rotation animation for our I'm the founder of. The next thing we're going to do is add a little flip down for our Video School Online. We can see this in our template right here. I'm the founder of videoschoolonline.com, and it kind of swings down. So that's what we're going to be doing. So what I'm going to do is select all my Video School Online text. I'm going to take my pan behind tool, and I guess I have to go individually and drag it to the top. Anywhere on the top is fine. So selecting these layers, move the anchor point to the top. Now I'm just going to do one of them again. So I'm just going to solo my video layer. I'm going to zoom in here. And with my video layer selected, I'm going to press R, and I'm going to do X rotation now. So what I'm going to do here is at 1 second, I'm going to set an X rotation at 0. I'm going to press U, so all I see is the 1 keyframe and the 1 rotation, the X rotation. Then what I'm going to do is go back to 0 frames and rotate back up. So now it rotates from 0 to, or from 94 degrees to 0, and that flips down. But I want to create some sort of swinging action so it looks like it's swinging down. So around 15 frames, what I'm going to do, or 13 frames, I'm going to swing it all the way down and past the resting point to like -27. And then I'm going to go to like 22 frames and swing back to something like 10 or 11. I'm going to extend this to a minute or a second and 5 frames, and then go to about a second and go back up to -5 degrees. So you see that this is now coming together. The speed isn't great, but you see that it kind of swings down, swings back, and it finally rests at its final resting point here. I'll do a quick thing to do is add easy ease, so F9. That kind of helps. But then I'm going to go into my graph editor. I'm going to zoom in here, and let's think about this really quickly. So this is showing the speed of the graph. So here we have a -500% or 500 pixels per second. Here I have, or degrees per second. Here it's going up to like 200. But if we scrub through this, we see that it's falling down. And where should it be slowest? It should be slowest when it reaches the peaks of its swing. So it should be fastest when it reaches the bottom. So what I'm going to do is extend this keyframe in like this so that at the peak it's moving its fastest. And then when it rests at the top of the rotation, it goes slower. And so all these keyframes are at the tops of the rotation, at the peak. Imagine a swing. It's where the person on the swing is going up and down, and momentum carries them up, and they kind of stay up at the top for a second, and then they swing down, and at the bottom, they're moving the fastest that they have ever moved, and then at the top, they rest again. So let's see what this looks like. So that looks pretty good. It swings better. It's more natural looking. The only thing that doesn't look so natural is that I think it should swing up even more. So I'm going to go to this keyframe and go to -35. Here I'm going to go back to maybe 20. And this one maybe -10 degrees. Now that looks pretty good. And I'm just going to extend this X rotation just a little bit, the last resting point. And now what I'm going to do is select all these keyframes, unsolo, go back to the start of my composition, select my schoolonline.com, and paste, Command V. So we see now, if I zoom out to fit all 100%, this stuff swings onto our frame. Now I just have to put them in the right position. So videoschoolonline.com, something like this. So the problem with this, we're getting that some sort of weird thing going on here at the very beginning. That's because the rotation is off. So I'm just going to select this school rotation, press R, and I'm going to rotate to like 89 degrees. Same with this one, with the online, press R, go to this first keyframe and rotate to like negative or like 87. Same with online, R, and rotate like 82 or so. Cool. Now that is how you add swinging text to your videos. And it's another really modern type of technique. I see it all the time. You can do all sorts of other types of rotations. You can rotate them from the center. You can rotate them from the bottom. You could do Z rotations, which would be like this type of rotation. All sorts of things. And again, you can combine these with scale and position animations just to make them even more dynamic. But for our purposes, this is great. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I know it was a bit longer, but I think this technique is something you'll enjoy using in your own videos. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next tutorial.